Hello everybody, today I'm going to try something a little bit different. I thought I'd make a video where I go through the mixing process of an element in the track. Today I'm going to be going through the mixing process for vocals, and the track I'm going to be mixing today is called Going to the Moon by Ricky Legend. I downloaded the stem track, the multi-track, on a website called Cambridge Multitracks. So if you're someone that wants to get into mixing, or you want to practice mixing, Cambridge Multitracks, I will link it in the bio and the description rather for the YouTube video. If you're on Instagram and you're hearing this, then go over to my YouTube and the link will be there. So before I get into any actual mixing, I thought I'd give you a chance to listen to a little bit of the track to get a feel for it first. So I think I'll go for a loop around here, which is actually the part of the track that I'm going to be playing as I mix it today, as it's an area where there's not too much instrumentation, so you get to hear a little bit more of the vocals. So I'll let you have a listen to that first. So as you can hear there, the vocals are fairly quiet, but as you can see here, the vocals are much higher up in the mix, and as we mix it, you'll hear that come out more, and you'll hear a lot more of the vocals, and they'll have a lot more clarity within the mix. I do apologise, by the way, that you can't see the screen too well. I don't have any software or microphone that I can actually record a much higher quality video with. However, if you do like this video, let me know at the end in the comments, and let me know if you want me to do more of these. And then, you know, if you do, then I'll have to look into improving the quality of these videos. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'll solo this first, is we're going to do an EQ. Clear up all the frequencies, make sure it sounds much cleaner. Now if you listen to the vocals,
how to find a way to get me closer there.
There's quite a bit of bass in it. Now you might not notice that to begin with, but as we get through the process of the EQ, you'll realise there is a lot of bass in this. So usually I'll go between 80 to 100 on the high pass. So if I go to 100 here,
how to find a way to get me closer there.
It sounds okay, but there's still a lot of bass in it. So we're going to bring it up, maybe around here.
How to find a way to get me closer there.
Now we don't want to take the body of the vocals out. We want to keep that in there. And it's about finding a good balance. So you just listen to it and find where you want to cut the low out, but make sure you don't want to cut too much out, because then it just won't sound as good.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way ticket to the moon.
So I think about there. That sounds alright. You know, you get rid of a bit of the bass, but you want to make sure, like I said, you want to have a bit of low end in the voice. You don't want a chipmunk. So with the bass now out, we're going to have to look to boost some of the highs, give a little bit brightness to the voice, make it cut through the mix a little bit better. So I'll first listen to around here.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way ticket to the moon. I'll be exploring lunar craters very soon.
Something about there, that sounds alright. Don't want to boost it too much. And I want to boost a little bit more of the high end, around 5k, to bring out a little bit more of the brightness out of the vocals as well.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way ticket to the moon. I'll be exploring lunar craters very soon.
Something that sounds alright. Just make sure we're boosting a specific area of the vocals.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way ticket to the moon.
So it's sounding good. Immediately it sounds a lot better. If we turn off the EQ.
How to find a way to get me closer there.
And then turn it on.
How to find a way to get me closer there.
It's immediately sounding a lot brighter. It's going to cut through the mix a lot more as well. However, now we boost a lot of the high end. You're going to get a lot more sibilants come through, a lot more of the t and the s's come through as well. So we're going to load up Maximus here in Dynamics, and we'll bring that up full screen just so I can let you guys see a little bit more. The first thing we're going to do actually is we're going to go to the presets, and we're going to go to de-esser narrow band. We're going to turn on monitor so you can see it as well. And now when I play it, you'll see that the red lines come through. And where you get that sibilance, it'll probably be around the 5k mark, as that's where we boost a lot on the EQ. And then we want to just bring them down a little bit so the sibilance doesn't come through too much.
How to find a way to get me closer there.
See, it's around here
One
immediately.
way to get to the moon.
So we'll bring this out a bit and we'll bring this up.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way to get...
See, you read around this area here, around the 5k, around 5 to 7k with the ticket with the T there. So then what we want to do is we want to go to mid, and now we're going to bring this line down here on the left side of the screen. And what that would do then, it will just take a little bit of it out. You don't want to take too much out because it'll sound like they have a lisp or a speech impediment. So we're just going to bring this down a little bit now.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way to get to the moon.
Still quiet there, present.
Craters very soon. Going.
So we'll go back to the beginning, because that ticket is a really good example of it.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way to get to...
So immediately, it's been brought down quite a bit. If I bring it down more, you'll notice then it just starts to sound a little bit unnatural.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way to get to the moon.
You know what? I'm going to be honest, that works. That sounds a bit better. I don't want it to be too harsh. So if I do go down one more, I'm determined to prove myself right now.
How to find a way to get me closer there. One way to get to...
It sounds muffled. It doesn't sound natural. It doesn't sound good. So we'll go up here. This actually does sound perfect. So immediately now with the EQ added, the de-esser added, it's starting to sound a lot nicer and a lot clearer. So we'll listen now to it. We're in the mix with these two already. Now you might notice that still the vocals are sounding very quiet. However, we're about to add a compression now, so we'll go back to dynamics and we'll go to through the compressor. Once we add the compression, it will cut through a lot more in the mix and it'll sound much clearer. So I'll go to begin with around 5 to 6 on the threshold. We don't want too much. 5.5, do it in the middle. And I'll go for about 3.3 to begin with on the ratio. 3.4, why not? And with the attack, you don't want the attack to be too quick, too late. So around 50 is normally a good spot for the attack. And the attack is just how long it takes for the compression rather to kick in. And with the release, we'll go with around 240 or so. And then the gain, you want to add up for how much the threshold is taken away. So we'll start off with 5. It might be too much, it might be too little, and we'll just have to now trust our ears as to how good it sounds.
Gotta find a way to get me closer there. One way to get to the moon. I'll be exploring new craters very soon.
So far it's sounding good. We may revisit the compression as well as the EQ in a minute, because we're now we've got all this done. We've got the EQ, we've got the de-esser, we've got the compression. It's now about adding the effects to make the vocals stand out a little bit more. So we're going to create a bus. A bus is just where we add the effects and then we connect the lead vocal to the bus for the effects. So we get to keep the dry sound, the natural vocal sound, and then we're going to have the effects added onto it. So we'll just call it now Vox Bus. I'm not going to color code it all right now. I just want to get the video nice and sweet for you guys to enjoy. And we're going to connect the vocals to the bus. So just at the bottom here, we'll connect it. You can see the line at the bottom. And we're going to first try adding some delay. So we'll go fruity delay, I think it was 2. And I'm going to add no, this isn't where we add the preset. Ignore me. So we'll first just start to listen to it and decide what sounds good, what doesn't. So we'll solo the vocals, and you can already hear that sounds way too much. And I don't want to listen to that. So the time, we'll bring the time down to about 2 seconds. I don't want it to be too long. Just a little bit of background for it. And we'll bring the OFS down as well. I'll try around 20 to begin with, and I want to bring the cut down to about 20 as well, and let's listen to that and see how that sounds.
Had to find a way to get me close in there.
And I'm going to bring the bus volume down because that's overwhelming and it's not nice to hear as well.
Had to find a way to get me close in there.
If you can't notice any difference, I'll turn off the delay.
Had to find a way to get me close in there.
And then with the delay,
Had to find a way to get me close in there.
it's essentially just an echo in the background. That is essentially what it is. And I just think we'll bring down the volume to about 40. And see how that sounds now.
Had to find a way to get me close in there.
And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a reverb to it. It'll just make it sound a little bit more spaced out, a little bit nice. So we're Fruity Reverb 2, and this is where we get the plugin, preset rather. So I'm going to go for large hall.
Had to find a way to get me close in there.
It's a little bit too much. We'll bring this down to about 66. And I just want to bring down the size a little bit, as well as the decay, to about 1.5.
Had to find a way to get me close in there. One way ticket to the moon. I'll be exploring lunar craters very soon. Going fast like a...
As you hear, it makes it sound quite spacey. Some people might think that's a little bit too much, but you gotta wait and compare it once it's in the mix. So if we now bring the mix in, I will bring the bus down a little bit more, and let's give it a listen.
Had to find a way to get me close in there. One way ticket to the moon. I'll be exploring lunar craters very soon.
So it is a little bit too much still, so let's find out, is it the delay or the reverb? I think it may be the reverb, so we'll turn that off.
Had to find a way to get me close.
So it is the reverb. So I think we'll look to bring down this, just a little bit more of the wetness, because we don't want too much, I'm not looking to add too much reverb to this, it's just to kind of space out a little bit, because the vocals are quite central and forward, so we just want to space out a little bit. So we'll try around here now.
Had to find a way to get me close in there. One way ticket to the moon. I'll be exploring lunar craters very soon. Going fast like a laser beam. New place to test run all of my crazy dreams. Gave myself a brand new start. Making good decisions under every star. 'Cause I'm going to the moon.
So guys, that is essentially the video for today. It is my first video, so I do apologise if I'm not too confident when speaking, or if I stutter a little bit at times. I'm not used to doing this. I don't normally talk when I'm doing my mixing. I normally got my headphones on, my monitors on, and I just do my own thing in my own world. And I do apologise as well for the quality of the video. It's just my phone on a tripod. It's like a classic 2010 YouTube video from a child. But it's the best I can do right now. But if you have enjoyed, please let me know in the comments. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe as well. I really do appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much, and see you again soon.